Hi, I'm Tim, and this is my workshop. Today I'm going to walk through the steps that it takes for me to create an image for the Tim's Workshop website. This is a product image for the store section of my website. What I'm going to do is show you how I edit a file from my camera. What I do is I shoot using a Nikon D80 camera, and I shoot in RAW plus JPEG mode, which produces two files, one of which is the JPEG image file. The other one is the RAW image file, which contains the raw sensor data from the chip. Now, it's that RAW file that's important. What we're going to do is use two programs. One is called UF-RAW. The other one is called GIMP. And between those two programs, we're going to edit this image, clean it up, and size it appropriately for use on the web. So we're going to start. We're going into, in my documents library here, I have a folder called Tim's Workshop, where I keep these image files and where I work with them from. And here we see this, the DSC 1438, that's the naming convention that my camera uses. That is the raw image file that we're going to work with. So we're going to open that with UF-RAW. Now, UF-RAW will open with whatever the last used options were. Now, you can see we have a preview image over here. This is changes in real time based on the changes you're making. We're going to start by using this first tab to the left here, the white balance tab. Now, if I were to stick with just the camera default white balance, it kind of has this orangish yellowish cast to it, not something I want. So I'm going to choose auto white balance. You can see we do have other options here. If you're using tungsten incandescent lamps, you can choose incandescent. If you're using a fluorescent lamp as your light source, you can use fluorescent. Manual white balance allows you to play with the levels, your color temperature here automatic, or manually, your amount of green level automatically, and adjust the various channels all manually rather through these sliders. I like to use auto white balance because I have found that that gives me the coloring that I want. Now, UF-RAW really lets you do a lot of things. The idea of having a raw image file is you can correct things like exposure and other issues when the picture was taken that, you know, maybe the settings weren't quite right on the camera. I'm not going to mess with most of that for this purpose. The other thing I'm going to change are the base curves. Now, there are multiple curves here. You can use the camera curve, which is data from the camera. You can do a manual curve, which lets you adjust things here. And as you can see, it, you know, as you move your little slider around here, and you can even move it in multiple spots and make different changes to the curve and really do funky things with it. Or you can load a curve. In my case, I have my Pen website curve. Now, if you didn't already have that loaded, you could click on the file folder, navigate to wherever it is that you have the curve file stored, and open it up, and it'll use that file. If you've created using the manual curve, if you have gotten a curve that you particularly like, and it makes the images the way you want, and you do want to be able to use that curve over and over again, clicking the disk icon here will let you name it and save it somewhere. So let's go back to my Pen website curve here, which is pretty much what I add anyway. That is all we're doing to edit this. Now, if you wanted to just save the image as it is, clicking on the disk icon here, you can choose a file path, either recently used directory or location, or you can click on other and navigate to a location to save it. Give it a file name. I like to use the PNG file format for most of my web images. I just find it seems to me to be a little better quality than JPEG without as much, it just seems to look better, but it still doesn't create awfully huge files. You would set your options, click the save button down here to the lower right, and the program will save the file, close, and you're done. In our case, though, we want to edit this image further, but we're going to do that using GIMP. So there's another button down here, Send Image to GIMP. You click on that and it will now launch GIMP, and it will load our temporary file. Now you realize, if you look at the bottom of the Explorer window here, you see that 8 meg is the size of that raw file. So it is fairly large. It's going to take a little bit. Here we are. First thing we're going to want to do is we want to crop this image down to a 1:1 aspect ratio. If you hold down the Shift key and hit the C key, you'll see that our cursor changes to the crop cursor, and the crop window opens up in our toolbox over here. We want to choose fixed aspect ratio, and we want to change the number here to be 1:1. That's 1:1. Hit enter. Now I'll come back over here to our image. We're going to pick a starting spot somewhere up here to the upper right of the image, and we're just going to drag a box down to the lower left. Doesn't matter at this point that the image isn't perfectly centered. We will fix that momentarily. If you go into, put your cursor somewhere in the highlighted area, hold down the left mouse button, you'll see that little plus sign that appears. That is the center of your crop window. So I have, through experimentation, figured out where to do it on the pens. So let me go ahead and position it. And then once you're satisfied, hit the enter key and it crops it down to a nice 1:1 square aspect ratio with your image centered. We're not quite ready for the web yet. We go to the image menu and choose scale. We want to make this image a little bit smaller. As you can see, 2329 pixels. That's in reality a very large image. I have found that for my products, a 600 by 600 image works very well. So just typing 600 into there, and with the little link here closed, the height will change into 600 as well as soon as you exit this box, because that link means that we want to maintain our aspect ratio, and since it's 1:1, both the width and the height should be the same. Click on scale, it adjusts the image size. Now we're ready to save it. Now in my case, for the workshop images, I save the files again as PNG files, and I like to give them a name that matches the SKU of the item. In this case, this is what I call a Turner's Choice pen. You have to tell it what extension to use, in this case PNG for the PNG file type. GIMP will use that extension to determine what type of file to save the image as, how to encode the image into the file when you have this set to all images down here in this drop down, which I would recommend leaving right where it is. Click on save. Up pops the PNG save window. Just use the defaults there, no changes. Click save. We're done. We get out of that, and as you can see, there it is. There is our Turner's Choice pencil we just saved, or pen that we just saved. That is our cropped image. Now we're all ready to use your favorite program and upload it to your website, or if you're using a storefront software on the website, you can import the image into the storefront using whatever tools are available there.